Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Looped In with Maritza, sponsored by the National Parents Union. Today is Wednesday, the 16th. It is only 48 days until Election Day. Family, please, especially in Pennsylvania, remember this important date. You have until October 19th to register online, register by mail, or register in person to vote. The deadline to request the mail-in ballot is October 27th. Early voting in the state of Pennsylvania started on September 14th, is going to go on through October 27th. But please keep in mind that the dates and times depend on where you live in the state of Pennsylvania. Nationwide, if you need information on voting, please go to vote.org, and that way you can see and check on your status. And please make sure you get your information in early. 48 more days, family. 48 more days, and you have the power to affect change and change what we have on Pennsylvania Avenue. The U.S. Census. Due to the COVID situation, due to the current administration in Washington, D.C., there will be no extension. We have until September 30th to make sure that all of our numbers count. For any of you that have not done so, please understand that this affects the number of seats in the House of Representatives, congressional and state legislative districts, new schools, new clinics and hospitals. It affects more services for families, for older adults. It affects Head Start, Medicaid, SNAP benefits. Making sure you're counted in the census is very important for businesses. Businesses determine whether or not they're going to open up in your communities that would then offer services and goods and jobs, depending on how many people are in a particular area. So please make sure that you get that taken care of. Every family votes. If you're interested in being a part of our campaign, the National Parents Union has a website, nationalparentsunion.org. The National Parents Union also has a Facebook page. You can go into both. There is a tab for every family votes to show how you're going to be a part of this historic voting coming up in November. To become a member of the National Parents Union, whether it's an individual or organization, go to the nationalparentsunion.org website. You can click on there and be part of this very important cause. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm very excited to have one of the individuals that represents 8 Black Hands. Please bring him out. Allow him to introduce himself. Welcome very much. Welcome to Looped In with Maritza.
All right. Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm Ray, 1/4 of the 8 Black Hands podcast. Thank you so much for having me on, man. Let's. So you said introduce myself. All right. So I'm a current superintendent of Riverhead Charter School, located out on Long Island, about 10 minutes from the Hamptons. So we out here. About an hour situated about an hour away from New York City, so I can get there too. I can reach people if I need to. I'm in my 17th year in education. So I'm climbing, I'm getting long in the tooth, but I'm still excited about the work that I'm doing, and yeah, I'm glad to be joining your podcast.
Thank you so much. Um, Tell me, how is school's already started in New York? What is the method that you chose for your students? Is it 100% virtual, or is it a hybrid situation?
So it's funny you should ask. In the middle school grades, we're doing a 100% hybrid situation. We felt like those kids had the capacity to be able to deal with being online for all day, even though, as I'm noticing, no human has the ability to be online all day. And so we're constantly reevaluating our premise in terms of how we're educating our kids. And we need to put more break times in because, like screen time and like all these other things may not have an effect now, but years down the road, when folks do studies on how much screen time kids were having in 2020 during COVID, I'm scared to see some of the results of that research. In terms of the lower grades, it's exciting for me because my daughter goes to my school And so she's a second grader, and she's excited to be going to school for 2 days a week. We invested a lot in PPE gear for teachers and for students. I think we may have spent $250,000 to get our school outfitted, to make sure that we're not having any outbreaks or any of those things. We have temperature machines in all three of our buildings, unlimited hand sanitizer, and access to washing hands, whatever. We're following best practices as prescribed by New York State and the CDC. And so, we're going with the science and Dr. Fauci.
Yes, I mean, I just started working at a school here in Philly, and it's really opened up my eyes because I used to work for Mastery in Camden, and I guess I was spoiled. A lot of the things that I saw, a lot of the things that were the resources that were being given, not only to staff but to families, was very different in comparison to what I see that is being now offered to staff and families in the city of Philadelphia. Um, One of them in particular that I said I wanted to ask your opinion
Oh,
on.
so you work for you?
Yeah, I used to work for Mastery in Camden. Now I work for the School District of Philadelphia. In my previous role, I was a community advocacy manager, and I
Oh,
helped.
you so.
Yeah, I worked in Camden for Mastery, and I helped develop
Mhm.
parent leaders, but I also enrolled students for them. Now I'm in a different role. I'm part of the staff. I'm in the building every day. I allow parents to come in that really are not technologically advanced. So I see a lot. Yeah, I see a lot. I mean, we get a lot of phone calls. We get a lot of parents coming in the building. I've had to play, that stern mom. Where's your mask? I can't talk to you. Go outside, get your mask. Because if I don't have any, I can't help them. I had three parents come in like this. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. You can't. No.
Yeah.
Or I had the parents that had the face mask like this. Put it up. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm their mother. I'm like, listen, I'm getting into my mommy mode as soon as they come to that door. No. But what do you think? And tell me, because when I was born in Brooklyn, I started my education in New York. Um, English was not my first language. I had teachers taught me how to speak English because in my home, my father said, you know what? We speak Spanish here. She can learn English in school. That was my parents' mindset, and that's what happened. Um, what do you feel about bilingual education, and do you think it is something that should be in the curriculum across the districts, as far as not even just Spanish, any dual language that a family would like their child to learn? Do you think it should be part of the school's curriculum, starting at the
I
earliest?
I definitely think that there should be opportunities for multilingualism in schools. I think that because I mean with the way the society is emerging, I mean white folks are not going to be the dominant. They're not going to be the dominant race in when I say race in terms of like just the amount of them in comparison to other ethnicities. It's going to change, and it's going to change in like 2040. Some of the things that I'm reading. And so you'll see on the Republican side, and I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
You know that.
Sorry.
Right? Yeah. Oh, you'll see this push to kind of put things in place to offset that growth from certain groups. And it's nasty, but they know that it's coming, and they're trying to do everything in their power to try to prevent that from happening. Because once that happens, it's like you're going to start to see more black and brown faces in Congress. You're going to start to see more black and brown faces in the Senate and on Pennsylvania Ave. So it's starting now. But in terms of answering your question, absolutely, I feel like that curriculum should be written with uh, multiculturalism, uh, dual learning aspects of other languages or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's only gonna make it only diversifies our school setting, and it only opens us up to learn about other cultures by doing it that way.
And as I said, I was a bit spoiled when I had my time in Camden, under Mastery Schools, because they did offer bilingual education. They actually had teachers that taught the students in both languages. until the child had a strong enough grasp of the English language to just go into, the regular education. So I was shocked and disappointed to find out that in the city of Philadelphia, it's only being offered in 6 schools.
Mm.
As huge as Philly is, as many schools as Philly has, and as large as the Latino population of non-English speakers in the city, there are only 6 schools. So a parent has a choice, especially during this virtual learning. I had a mom call me and say, I can't go to work because I just enrolled my children in 4th and 1st grade and everything's in English and my children do not speak English. So now I have to stay home to help translate their education. And that burned me up. I was so mad. I did a live for like 5 or 6 minutes because I was angry. And it started a new fire up in me. Aside from education equity and justice in education, now I'm like, okay, this is another form for me of the haves and the have-nots. If you don't live in that particular area, oh well, and you're just going to have to wing it until you learn. I understand fully merging. I'm not a teacher, but I do understand those concepts. But initially, parents need help,
Absolutely.
especially now. So it was, that I was just wanting to know your opinion on that.
Yeah. Like so just to bring you up on my school is about 70% Latinx. And so yeah, we're out here, man. Like I have really good connections with our parents. They love me.
I bet they
Love
do.
them. I love them. Sometimes there's the language barrier, but we get through it. We find innovative ways to communicate, and then also I downloaded Duolingo, so I'm in these streets. I'm trying to learn too. As educators, we lifelong learners, and so you got to make that kind of adjustment when the enrollment of your students changes. You got to make the changes in order to meet the needs of those students, and a lot of us don't really do that. So in Philadelphia, what they should be doing is you got to take account into like how many Latinx families you have, and I'm sure with the growing and emerging population of Latinx families, that 6 schools ain't gonna cut it.
No,
So
it's not. I mean, that's exactly why I got the role that I have now, because the population around this particular school, the Latino population, the non-English speaking Latino population had grown so much that the school leader said, I need a bilingual secretary in this school.
Me too. I need one too. So if you want to move to New York, come through.
Hey.
And you say you was from Brooklyn, so hey,
Yeah.
talk to your folks, because I need one. Hey, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
So because I want to know. I always ask my parents, but like, should we be referring to folks as Latinx, or should we be referring to folks as Latino? Like, what's the proper terminology on how I should be addressing?
Um, the term Latinx, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
has come up with millennials. Because I'm knocking on 50. So Latinx for me, okay, my sons may use it, my daughter-in-law may use it, but I don't use Hispanic. I don't like Hispanic. I never really liked Hispanic because of the derogatory word derived from it. Calling someone a spick. So I've never said I'm Hispanic. So even at a very young age, I said I'm Latina. I'm Afro-Latina. And that's me. That's how my I have, my sons are Black men, but they are Dominican Black men. My daughter is a young Black woman, but she knows that she is an Afro-Latina Black woman. She's understanding that. So that is how we're raising our children in our household, to understand what they are and what they identify as. And I think it's just a personal choice for whatever a person accepts. So you're doing the absolutely correct thing. If you can ask somebody, what do you prefer? It's just like with anything else. If like our producer Jada was like, do I call him Mr. Raymond? Do I call him Mr. Ankrum?
Why you throw my government out like that, man? Don't be throwing my government out here.
You put it on here for everybody to read. So it's a matter of what a person's personal reference is. Like right now, I'm around a lot of young teachers. They're calling in, they're on Zoom calls, and they're like, do we call you Miss Gertie? Do we call you Miss G? Do we call you Maritza? I say, listen, as you get to know me, I'm okay with all 3. Just don't call me something negative, and we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's gonna be a, you know.
Yeah.
But for the families, it just really, you know, that's why, like I said, I was spoiled when I worked under a charter school, because when I saw that there was a need for translation headsets,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't just get me one for one school. They made sure they got the money to provide 30 headsets, and you know they're expensive,
Yeah.
for each one of their schools.
Mm-hmm.
So when they had a meeting with families and I didn't have an issue translating, I was in the back with a piece of paper translating verbatim all the presentations and whatever was going on. And it was great because I felt that that showed respect for the families, that they cared enough to make sure that whatever information was being given to them, it was understood by all.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing is being in a space where you hear somebody talking and you have no idea what's being said. That is like
Yeah.
the worst feeling on earth. It's
Yeah.
like me going, you know, going to France, hearing people speak French all day long, not understanding anything. I
Mm.
wouldn't like that. So I appreciate those school leaders. I appreciate those districts that fully understand. I know that the district that I live in financially struggles each and every single year. But if those of us that vote for people to be, you know, vote for those representatives in the state capitol and then also in DC, that make sure that every single state across this country has a fair funding formula, we wouldn't have these education disparities, I think, because we'll have the funds available and that what's needed to get the children the tools that they need to get the education they deserve. That's just my soapbox.
Yeah. Hey, but hey, listen, more money ain't gonna necessarily fix that problem in Philly.
I
Just
do
putting it out
understand
there.
that. I mean, it's a combination of money and talent.
Yeah.
Because my thing yesterday was where are, I know that they are many dual language speaking teachers,
Mm-hmm.
dual language speaking individuals that want to give back and want to teach, but they don't
Yeah.
know how to do it. So that's my rant on that.
That and there's other lucrative money making opportunities for people that are like, you know, multilingual,
Yeah,
in order for them to make money besides teaching. So we gotta talk to Reef. We gotta bring Reef on. We gotta do some
he's
things
coming.
in order.
He's coming on the 30th. Yeah,
Okay.
I already got that. That's on lock. He's coming on the 30th. And like I said, I'm gonna work on Dr. Cole and Mr. Chris Stewart. I
Yeah.
already asked, can I be on Citizen Ed? I'm waiting for a response.
Yeah.
So I'm covering all my bases because I think that, you know, a little bit of Maritza flavor is okay, in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
okay. Your other shows,
Got a couple other shows.
I know you can mean. I mean, eight black hands. For those that, you know, if you do not know, please educate those on what it started
Yeah.
and what you guys have since the start of it.
Yeah.
You created this multi-show, multi-informational platform
Yeah.
that I see every single day. So please share with my
So
folks what you guys are about.
absolutely. A Black Hands pretty much started from some Zoom calls, just like this. We were all Twitter friends, and then one day we were like, hey, let's just have a Zoom call. Let's just, catch up with each other, whatever. And then from that, we had ideas about, hey, let's start a podcast. And then from there, it was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So this happened in January 2019.
Okay.
Our first episode came out. So, we had like a couple of planning sessions or whatever. And then we just like, all right, let's just let it rip. And then from there, we're on episode 79 now. So
Shoot.
we out here in these streets doing it. And so, but here's the thing though, right? For us, we know that this show is like, we know we have a lot of followers. Whatever. We know we have a lot of closet followers in terms of like people that don't really say that they're fans, that are actually fans and listen to every episode. We know that we have a lot of people that hinge on every word that we say, waiting for us to mess up so we can get canceled or whatever. But we're unbothered by that. We can't cancel us. We all bosses in our own respective rights. So we out here doing what we got to do. And that's informing black families on their rights and their responsibilities of being black parents or whatever. Just 8 million black students that are not getting a quality education. And that's not even throwing in the millions of brown kids that are not getting a proper education in the United States. And so for us to be able to highlight that every week, I think that's a amazing opportunity for us to kind of even the playing fields, because we all know that these playing fields are not equal at all. And so I look at it like this, and we talked about this Nice White Parents podcast in our last episode. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, if we were four white guys, then we would probably be millionaires.
That's true.
And we would probably have millions of followers and blue checks and like all kinds of other lucrative opportunities or whatever. But because we're talking to black folks about black kids, it kind of pigeonholes us in a sense. But it's okay, because we don't really do it for that. We do it so that we can engage with folks like you and the thousands of parents that we're able to engage with, so that we can make this thing better inch by inch. So in terms of other shows, later today I got my libation show, and that's my kick it show. That's when we just come and we chill. We talk about black popular culture and like everything under the sun in terms of that show. We do try to keep it serious. Sometimes we'll frame it in a way that's like educational or whatever for the most part. But tonight
Oh,
I'm in these
hey,
streets with my Punta Cana rum.
hey.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks to
out
your
here.
show. Thanks to your
Yeah.
show, I have looked for and started watching quite a few shows that I wouldn't normally watch.
Yeah.
I mean, my guilty pleasures are, Spanish, Latino telenovelas, and
Yeah.
people laugh when I say I watch Korean dramas too.
Yeah.
But now you got me watching P Valley just to make
Hey,
sure I can stay
listen. Let me
on
let
pace
me
with you
let me tell you
guys.
let me tell you something. Let me say tonight, man. I got a couple more episodes I got to go watch before to get ready to prep for tonight. But we ready. We in these streets. Um, Chris does his daily show.
Yes.
Comes on at 10 o'clock Eastern time, and
Yes,
and he's amazing. He has multiple guests and like different perspectives in terms of how he views and thinks about education. Reef is on everybody's show,
Yes. On
everybody's
everyone's
show but
show.
his own.
Yes.
But you can see him in these streets every day on somebody else's show. Reef is one of the hardest workers in show business. And then Dr. Cole periodically does his happy hour,
Yes.
and then
Yesterday.
he did one yesterday. Yeah, I was
Mhm.
on. I was in the comments. And then he does his energy converter thing with his students, which is amazing. Giving these students a voice in terms of navigating through the inequities that exist in schools, especially in Oakland. I think he's branched out to Chicago, and he's doing some work in Indiana as well. So
He
we're
need to come
big
to
out
Philly.
here.
He needs to come to Philly because there are
Yeah.
many young people out here that are making their voices heard, doing their thing, doing what they have to do.
Yeah, I mean, he would relish on the opportunity to come to Philly. I know he's branching out, and it's a very talented. We got a very talented crew. I'm the wimp. I'm the
You are not the wimp.
I'm the, I'm the one that flies under the radar.
I mean,
It's cool.
the first time I was, Sharif, I met him and I knew him because I not only had worked for Mastery, my second eldest son, Elijah, went to a Mastery charter high school here in Philly. And then so when I ended up working for them, I got to meet a lot the school leaders across the network. So I had met Sharif. And then at the National Parents Union Conference in New Orleans, he didn't realize I was Elijah's mom.
Mm.
Because he was like, I said, my son. He was like, who is your son? And I'm telling him, he's like, oh my gosh. I said, yeah. So my son he's worked for the Eco Foundation. I don't know if you've heard about them. It's an organization in Philly, but they have developed a lot of programs for young people. They've gone to high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, done a lot of programs. And my son has performed at Shoemaker, where Sharif was a school leader.
Mm.
So when I told him, I said, Eli, he's like, because I don't call him Eli. I call him Elijah, the way I named him when he was born. But that's his artist name, Eli Capella. So he's like,
Yeah.
it's a small world. You never know who you run into. I mean, you guys, my first experience of seeing all four of you together was in January back in New Orleans. I hope National Parents Union brings all four of you back for whenever we do convene again, because for whoever gets an opportunity to go, it'll definitely be a very educational and inspiring moment to hear you guys all together talking about the importance of educational equity and equality across the country and including Puerto Rico. But you guys also have fun, which I think is another reason why a lot of people, engage so much with you and that they enjoy it. It's not just you don't feel like you're being talked at. I actually
Right,
also
right.
got that from that conference. I didn't feel like I was in a conference sitting in whatever seminars they dropped me in based on my selection and that I was being talked at. I was actually part of the conversation. And I'm quite sure all of the other attendees felt the same way that when they were listening to you guys speak, your conversation is so engaging. I mean, it's for me, for lack of a better word, is that magnetic. You guys
Yeah.
definitely had that magnetic effect that made everyone take notice, pay attention, listen, be inspired, and say, hey, if they can do it, if everyone in this setting can do it, we could bring that out across the country. So that's why we're out here. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been given this platform. I never thought in a million years that I'd be given a platform where I'd be able to talk to so many educational leaders and so many other education professionals. I never thought this would happen for me. And I think it's great. I'm enjoying every minute of it. Um, and,
Well,
and, and I feel
I thought
fortunate
it would.
for it.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew as when we came to New Orleans and I saw the setup, the layout, or whatever. I walked when we told y'all when we walked in the room, we thought y'all booked us with other people. Hey, I'm still finishing stuff up from that swag bag. What?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, no, I'm serious. I mean, I still have the charger, I still have my bag, the
yeah.
everything that was given to me, the coffee, still didn't finish the coffee.
Hmm.
And everybody still laughs and talks about how everyone that attended was absolutely surprised and thought that somebody broke into their hotel room when they
Yeah.
saw this nice bag
Yeah.
sitting in the
Yeah.
entryway of their hotel room. So it was, they did their wonderful. Oh my gosh, I can't even say enough. The accolades.
Where's the next one gonna be?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
they need to let the cat out the bag, and they need to make sure the hands is there.
well, I mean, when it's safe, I'm assuming that when it's safe and COVID is a little bit more under control,
Yeah.
the powers that be will make that decision and make that announcement and make the phone calls and send the invites
Yeah.
and hopefully you guys will be part of that group. I mean, the work you and all the and Dr. Cole and Sharif and Chris have been doing is amazing. You've inspired other people, giving them that little extra push to say, "Hey, I can do it as well." So
Absolutely.
I commend you and all of them for being that spark that a couple of people have needed. Continuing to be that flame for those that are like, I don't know, that they're still in the middle. And
Yeah.
even though you're a Republican,
Hey, so let's clear this up, right?
because of
So there's nothing wrong with
no,
Republicans. That's the
well,
first thing.
there's nothing wrong.
The second thing is I'm a Republican with a heart. So
Okay,
it's like I understand like the complexities of race relations, poverty, and like all those other things. I'm no dummy. I'm no dummy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know what we need to do in order to make sure everybody's on equal playing field. So maybe I'm a Republican just in name, but
okay. I would definitely accept that. Absolutely. No, because for real, when I first heard that, I was like, eh? But then I said, no, you know what? I've gotten to hear you speak and see what you're doing. And I especially loved when you were doing your workouts with your daughter.
yeah,
That was so adorable. So I know there's more to you as a person than just, what political affiliation you have, although it's different from mine. We still good.
hey,
We are
listen,
absolutely
listen.
still
What
good.
I'm gonna tell you this. I just wish that and I'm not an ageist, so don't think of it that way. I just wish that we had different candidates to select from on
Yeah.
both sides of
Yeah.
the on the coin.
But why don't you go for that one day?
No, no, no,
See?
no, no. See, here's the thing. Here's the reason why. I'm glad that I grew up and I was raised in the pre-social media era.
Me too.
But
Yeah.
I don't know who out there, so I ain't running for no public office.
Okay. Well, and it's funny because from what I remember, you're a Q.
I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity
Okay.
Incorporated.
I mean, I know many. I know many. I know quite a few from North Jersey and New York. Uh, a lot. So you
And
probably
you don't see them running for office.
um.
Not
I'll
the
have to
ones
look
that,
at
not the
that.
ones that's, not the ones that has been,
Yeah, I
not
mean
the
everybody.
seasoned veterans.
Hey, everybody has a past, and that's all I can say. Everybody has a past, and you either accept it and move on, or just hold it over their head for the rest of their lives. That's all I can say about that. But
Facts.
tell me a little bit more, just a little bit more about the evening show tonight, libations.
Yeah. So libations tonight, man. We talking about what are some things that came up, because the first part of the show we talk about current events,
Yes.
and there's some very controversial things happening. You got the Democratic almost governor of Florida that's identifying, with some dualities.
Okay.
We need to discuss that. Um, I don't know if you know the basketball player Maya, I forget her last name. I was just reading about it. But she had taken two seasons off to work on some social justice piece that she was working on, and they actually had freed someone that was wrongfully convicted uh, of a crime, and she just married the guy that they freed.
Not
So
Rudolph. Was her name
yeah,
Mike Rudolph?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we're
I'm
going
gonna
to
tune
talk
in.
about that. Yeah, and
Give
then
me more teasers. Go ahead, because they gonna tune in later. All right.
we got the P Valley thing that we need to touch on. And then there's the aspect of Uncle Clifford,
Oh
and so Uncle Clifford, and I don't know if you're familiar with the rapper in New Orleans, Big Frida. And
no.
so there's a rapper in New Orleans that pretty much carries himself the same way as Uncle Clifford, and
Oh,
they're
Gender
saying
fluid.
that he
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
stole his style. So we're gonna talk about that.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So and then I think they're talking about Love Valley Country.
I try to get into it. I'm
Yeah, I'm
trying.
not into the sci-fi
Yeah, that's the thing.
stuff.
I'm a sci-fi geek, so I'm really
Yeah,
trying really hard
yeah,
to to get into it and be objective. But like I said, I'm all for supporting projects that have
yeah,
black and brown. At least to
yeah,
just say I supported and watched
yeah.
because they need.
Oh man, so and then we got the AOS podcast. These brothers, one's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. One is a member of my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, and one's a member of Phi Beta Sigma, so AOS.
All three.
And they're all black school leaders.
Oh,
And they do a podcast bi-weekly. I produce it. It's pretty amazing. And their next podcast episode is gonna have a book author that authored the book Lead Like a Pirate.
uh-huh.
And so that should be a pretty good episode for them. They're grossing probably over like 1,000 views per. And when you think about views, you look at it in terms of like it's education stuff. So if you got
Yes.
1,000 people that are listening to you talk about education stuff, if you were talking about other things, then that would probably be tens of thousands
Yes.
of people that would be listening to you. So
And that I find that very interesting because I don't like I go back like after this show I'm gonna go back and listen to it as I'm in the kitchen making dinner for the kids.
Mhm.
So I find it amazing and humbling when I see how many people have actually tuned in, watched it, and it really humbles me and because my focus I always try to make it education based. I have had a few different kind of shows. Like I actually had a show a couple of weeks ago. I was so I felt a little bit just bombarded by sad news or scary news. So I had a more livelier show, and I actually had two Philly producers come on the show,
mm,
as well as I had my son perform,
there it
and
is.
it was a very upbeat and I enjoyed it. And I also was supposed to have another young lady named Sarai Nicole Frazier, who was an amazing singer. She had a family emergency, but she couldn't come on. But I'm going to have another show featuring her
Mhm.
and some other producers and some other folks that are in education, but
Yeah.
also have their foot and their hands in the music business for Philly local artists. So when I have that show, I'm going to have a lot of fun too because
Hey,
music is always
so
near and
what
dear.
number show is this for you?
Oh my gosh. I started in May and I've been doing it every Wednesday since May. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
a baby. I'm still green compared
Nah,
to
you
you
not.
guys.
You don't sound green at all. You sound like a seasoned veteran out here in
Well,
these streets.
well, I'm a talker. I'm a
Yeah.
talker, and I mean, I'm the person that I've gone to the school district and been out there and been to the state capitol and said what I had to say and asked what I had to ask for.
Mm.
So it's and I guess I have to give thanks to my parents for just Maritza got a big mouth. That's right.
That's not a negative thing. I
Well,
put that thing up about all the things that they view as from our young black girls as negatives that are
yeah,
now that we can turn into positives, whatever.
absolutely.
Like you're not bossy, you're assertive.
That's it. And that's it. I've always been very assertive, and I guess I'm happy that I am this way. I tell people, listen, take from me whatever you like about what I say and how I say it. Take from that and develop it for yourself. I'm a person that my past careers, because I've had many jobs. For those that know me, I've had many jobs. I have over 30 years of customer service experience. So when I had to train people, that's all I would say to them. Listen to me, whether it's in English and Spanish. If you like what you're hearing, incorporate it into how you now speak to these customers. You now speak to these folks. You now speak to these parents because everybody's the same. I don't care if you're the CEO of a company or you're the custodial staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to treat you with the same respect.
Yeah, and
That's just me.
that's important. Treating people with respect, and also doing a job that you love, because we find some people that are very grumpy in their positions in life, and I'm just like, man, if you were that miserable in terms of the job that you work, then you need to quit.
Yeah, because this opportunity for me came out of nowhere. The reason that National Parents Union was able to reach me was because when they were looking for people to invite, they were calling every known nonprofit organization, especially Black and Brown. And I used to work for an organization called Concilio. We had parted
Mm-hmm.
ways this past March, so I was actually not working, not doing much when I was offered the opportunity to do some good work with National Parents Union, and now I love it. I'm like I don't care. It's not a money thing, absolutely not, because it's not anything I'm doing for a paycheck. But my real job now is helping those families at their school. So that's my goal. Ray,
Yeah,
you're great.
I appreciate that.
You are great. I mean, you out in New York. I've actually, never. I don't think I've traveled to Long Island
Come through,
ever.
come
Well,
through.
hey, when things get better and it's healthier for people, I'm going everywhere. I mean, I'm hitting the West Coast. I'm
Yeah,
hitting the Middle States. I'm going to Boston
yeah.
because I'm going to go knock on Carrie's door with some empanadas and say, here, because I love to cook, so that's how I show my love. So when I go see people and stay with people, I'm like, listen, I will cook for you the whole time I'm here because just
Yeah,
give me what I need and I'll cook whatever you want.
there it is.
And that's the invitation I always have. I let people know I love
You
to
gotta
cook.
send me some. You gotta send me some recipes. You gotta send me some recipes so I can put in my slow cooker.
Okay. Oh yes. Oh, I got you. Don't worry about that. But whenever if you ever come down Philly way, let me know. You know,
We'll do.
we'll save you a plate. I'll tell the kids, no, we got to save this for Mr. Ray.
Yeah.
Y'all leave this alone, and you can bring your family because I got little ones here, and they just love to, they love to gather with other children. But Eight Black Hands comes on when
We'll come on Sunday at 8 p.m.
nine
No, I'm sorry,
9
8 p.m.
nine
Central,
9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I was like
9 p.m.
9.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and
maybe
then
I'm putting some.
AOS.
Maybe I'm putting some things in the ethos so where we could change that time so I can
Oh,
have the
you want
rest
it
of my
earlier?
night. No,
Oh
no, no, no,
yeah.
no, no.
You
Okay.
know, just if someone wants to reach you or reach out to Eight Black Hands, how can they do that?
Yeah. So our Twitter is at 8blackhands1 is our Twitter feed. If you're trying to reach me, I'm at Mr. _Ankrum Ankrum, or just follow us on the Facebook page, leave a comment or whatever. I'm pretty much the one that's navigating the Facebook page. So when you see some smoke, you know where
Yes.
that smoke came from.
And family, he's very receptive. So he don't think that you're gonna put something on there and he will not respond. You do respond, and that is
Absolutely.
very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Do not be surprised if you get emails from my peers, from my Ohio delegate, from our California delegate, from,
Yeah.
we share guests.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, listen, if you need me, I'm here. I'm here for you. I definitely I want to talk because Ohio might be one of the only states that matters in November.
You absolutely. So yeah, you definitely got to talk to Kelly. She
Yeah.
will. I think that'll be an awesome show
Yeah.
because we all of us that have these platforms, they're all a little different. They're not all the same.
Hmm.
Like, everybody's style, everybody's method, everybody's speech, everybody's just a little bit different aside from, possibly a little different kind of accent here and there.
Yeah.
For me, it comes out, my Brooklyn accent comes out, my Spanish accent comes out, my North Jersey accent comes out, and sometimes Philly. So it just depends on my mood. It just comes out.
Yeah.
I really want to thank you, sir, for agreeing to be on my show.
Of course. Of course.
You might be back. My goal before the end of 2020 is to have all of the 8 Black Hands on my show. So at the same time, listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out into the universe. I have
Yeah.
you. I'm going to have Brother Sharif in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to put something out there for Dr. Cole and for Chris Stewart. Listen, individually in doses, because you guys have such energy.
Yeah.
It overload my synapses. But I want to have all 4 of you together.
Yeah.
So we could talk about Philly. And, Sharif, I know he got it on lock, but I think other outside folks' opinion of what they see is going on in Philly is also important. Just like when I'm asked to be on other people's show and they ask me what I think about their perspective on what's going on in their part of the country, different perspectives always help. Different thought mindsets also help as well. But brother, I really appreciate you being on here.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait till we come on and you let us form Black Voltron.
Oh my gosh, yes, see? Oh! Enjoy that, Ron.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm jealous because
Yeah.
in Philly right now, it's very hard to try to find things, and I have to go over the bridge in Jersey to find stuff. But that right there, enjoy it, sip it.
Hey, yeah, with my Coke Zero.
Don't put it in orange juice. Yeah, you definitely Coke.
My Coke Zero. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Coke. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't put it in Coke.
Yeah.
Especially in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Absolutely.
Salute. Enjoy.
Yeah.
You take care. If you want to stay on for a little bit while I just do my little parting comments, that's up to you. But if not, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. We will talk again.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, tune in tonight.
Yes, I will. I'll be there. You'll see me in the comments.
All right. Thank you.
Family, thank you so much for being a part of Looped In with Maritza today. I hope you enjoyed this special guest. It was very enjoyable for me. I hope it was for you as well. Please remember the dates. It's only 48 days left until we are able to seat a new person on Pennsylvania Avenue. Please make sure you can go on to vote.org if you are unsure of your status and eligibility to vote. You can select your state to see what your status is. Pennsylvania, October 19th for mail-in, in-person registration, online registration. Deadline to request that ballot, October 27th. Early voting in the state of Pennsylvania. It started on the 14th. It's going to go through the 27th of October. Get in there early. Get it in early. I gave a suggestion a few weeks ago. If the weather's nice on a Saturday, have a socially distanced block party. Talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family. Ask them, have you registered? Do you want a ballot? Do you have a ballot? Let's gather, fill your ballots out. Let's gather them all. Find out where your polling location is. Take it in person. Find out if you have the ballot boxes in your community. Put them there. If you're concerned about it being counted on time via the United States Postal Service, get it done. The census, I don't know what the money amount is per person where you live, but for Philadelphia, it equates to $21,000 over the next 10 years. Philly, we are on the verge of losing billions of dollars because people are not filling out that census form. People are not allowing 10 minutes of their time when someone knocks on their door. They're not going online. Talk to you, make it a goal for yourself. Reach out to 10 family and friends and neighbors. Ask them, hey, you did your census. Let's take care of that real quick. That means money for our communities. Please get that done. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you to the National Parents Union for giving me this platform. Remember, every family votes. Go on the nationalparentsunion.org webpage. Go on to our toolkit. If you're uncertain about what to do with regards to voting, it is very useful. Become a member of the National Parents Union. Have some people behind you that will fight for you, will help you, will be that helping hand for whatever you may not understand regarding educational equality. And if you feel that your child or your children are not getting the quality education that they deserve. Thank you so very much. Have a very good rest of your week. Stay safe. Thank you.